Okay friends, to get started on our window regulator, first we're going to need to get off our door panel. To do that, you're going to see that you have a secret hatch right here. We'll just pop that. Then behind there you can see that there's a screw. We're going to remove that screw. After that we'll move over to here. There's another panel. Let's go ahead and open this up as well. And you can see that there's two more screws. Let's remove all three of those. The next thing we need to do is use a nice plastic trim tool. We're going to come right inside this area and just pop this out. Set this aside. Let's remove our lower bolts now. Now let's remove our side mounting screw. Now let's just make sure that our window is in the fully up position. After that, we're going to grab onto our door panel, lift it straight up, and we're going to carefully remove it from the door. Just remember that there is wiring that leads to the back of it, and that goes to the window switch. Squeeze on this little tab right here, and then we'll draw this out. Check to make sure you don't see any funny colors. We'll set this aside. All right, now it's going to be time to remove the speaker. You're going to see that you have 4 mounting bolts. Let's remove all of them and then remove the wiring from the back. Looking at the back of the speaker, you can see there's a little squeeze tab. Squeeze that and draw this away. No funny colors. Set it aside. Let's move along to removing our plastic vapor barrier here. Just be careful for the black stuff on the back. That's called butyl tape, and it's very sticky. It'll get stuck on your clothes, and it'll make a mess. Set this aside. Now we're just going to put multiple strips of tape going along the window. That's going to help keep the window up while we continue on by removing the rest of our regulator. Next, we're going to remove the 2 bolts that hold the window to the regulator. There's one located right here, and there's one inside this hole right there. Just loosen those up enough to the point where it releases the window. Now the next thing we want to do is take a nice pocket screwdriver. We're going to come right in between this area, gently pry, and separate these 2 pieces. The next thing we need to do is come underneath this top ear right here and try to pry. That way there we can grab onto this handle and pop it off of here. After that, we're going to take the cable right out of the handle. We'll set this aside. Let's follow the cable down to this mounting point. Set this aside. Now let's start removing some wiring. Using a small forky tool, we're just going to come right underneath this area here and just try to unsecure this from the window regulator assembly. Now let's remove this connector here, squeeze the tab, I'll draw it right off. Come up to this connector, squeeze the tab, draw that off as well. We've got some more anchor points. Put that off of there. I'm going to leave this one on the door because it's not going to bother us any. Just kind of pay attention to the direction that all of your cables were in. Some of them run across the outside of the window regulator. Some of them run across the inside aspect. Just try to keep that in mind. Come right up here. Pop that off of there. On the back side of this one, it comes around the back. You can see that there's an anchor point back there. You can either try to take it off now, or of course, when the window regulator starts coming out, you might have better access to it. The next thing we're going to do is remove our 3 mounting bolts that hold our motor to the window regulator. Now the next thing we want to do is carefully reach up and inside here. We want to essentially grab onto the hook areas that are holding onto the window and just draw it down and away from the window. Watch your fingers for any pinch points. There we are. Now let's remove our 8 mounting bolts that hold the window regulator to the door. All right, let's wheel this around. There we are. Let's lift this up. Remove this last screw completely. There it is, friends. Okay, friends, now it's time to get our brand new window regulator in here. Let's go ahead and carefully slide this down. Something that I want you to pay attention to is this back area right here is going to go behind the door, and this forward area is going to go on the front of the door. Slip this in. There we are. At this point, we can start in our mounting screws. We'll get them all started, and then we'll snug them up. So now that everything's bolted in, we're going to grab onto the area that's supposed to touch up against the window, and you're going to see that you have these 2 little hooky-doos. And essentially the way that those are going to go is so the window slides in between them, and then you're going to tighten up this bolt right here. I'm just going to grab this, I'll slide it right up, put it around both sides of that window in there, and like I said, snug it up. When you tighten this, it's very important to make sure that you don't use any impact tools because you don't want any vibration to potentially break the glass. All right, now it's time to get our window motor in here. We want to line up our 3 mounting holes with the larger holes that are on the window regulator. Put this on here. Start in all 3 of your bolts before you snug them up. Now let's get our wiring back on here. Let's grab our speaker wire and then this larger one as well. I'm going to put these both through here, just like that. Okay, the larger one's going to come up and through this hole right here. I'll line this up. We've got our mounting right here. That's going to clip in there once you latch this in. Let's connect back in our window motor. Let's get this into this hole right over here. Let's go ahead and make sure that we secure this wire for the speaker behind here. If you were to look inside this squared area, you should find a round hole. Just slide it right in there, make sure that's secure. Let's take this wire, put it up under there. Now we're going to take this cable, start it in here. We're going to start this in here in 1 second. First we're going to put on the handle, that cable through there. Bring this around. You want to make sure that your spring is facing in this direction, away from the handle. When we start this on, we're going to put this little tab inside here, and then we're going to press this tab in right there. Okay, take this, push it right in there, make sure it's secure. You do not want this to fall out. Just make sure that your handle retracts like it should. If it doesn't, then your spring's in the wrong position. Now we're going to take off all of our window tape, and we're going to test the window motor. Now the next thing we're going to want to do is have the key in the on position. We're going to reconnect in our window switch, and then we'll test to make sure the window functions properly. Perfect. Now with the key out of the truck and the door panel removed again, let's put back on our vapor barrier. We're going to take our window switch wire, and we're going to come right through the hole in the vapor barrier right here. After that, let's get our handle through here. And then, of course, we'll just line this up with the exact area that we removed it from. Let's get our speaker wire back attached. A little hard to get my fingers in here. Listen for the click. Now let's start in all of our screws and snug them up. There we are. They're all nice and snug. let's grab that door panel. Now it's going to be time to install our door panel. Something that I want to mention real quick from the back side is you have a lot of hooks on the door panel itself. And then on the door, you're going to find the areas where all those hooks need to line up with and then slide into. So just pay attention to that. Aside from that, let's get our window switch hooked back in. Okay. We've got our lock. The lock needs to go inside here, obviously. So we're just going to come up nice and high, start that in. Now I'm going to press this forward or up against the door, trying to make sure that I get all those hooks in. Once they're all in, just slide it down, a couple of nice bonks, and then feel all the way around just to make sure that it's completely seated, completely up against the door itself. This feels great, so let's start mounting it in with the screws. Let's grab this little panel, slide this on here. We've got our 3 longer screws. You're going to have 1 here and then 2 inside this handle. Let's install them all. Now let's get in our 2 lower screws. Side screw. Let's just close all of our covers. Get this one right here. You're going to notice looking at the back of it, you have a little hooky-doo. That's going to be facing towards the rear of the door. Pop that in. Perfect.